So there was a fella, he was a filmmaker named Larry Jordan, or maybe I should just call him Larry, but he facilitated my ability to work with Paul McCartney and also, I suppose, Yoko Ono. All right. And he really started me out. You know, he gave me jobs and things, direction, stuff like that. So, I mean, look at this channel. You can see a lot of performance footage that I shot of Paul back in the day in rehearsals and stuff. And I used to have Yoko stuff up too, and John Lennon stuff that I had from working with her. But then she made a YouTube copyright strike against me and was threatening the closure of my channel. So I had to take all those down. And YouTube tells you. You know, I looked at the thing and they said it, and they said, all right, you have a copyright strike. And then they said, complainant, and it said Yoko Ono Lennon in capital letters. So anyway, this guy Larry, you know, he was my mentor. He got me my start, and as I said, eventually led to me being able to tour with Paul McCartney. He was very well known director. He did Mariah Carey videos. He did Bruce Springsteen. He did Sting. He did Cyndi Lauper. Yeah, here's Larry on the left, the director. On the right is director of photography David Phillips. In the middle is the producer Tibu Dalton. Lovely girl. Had a crush on her, as you can imagine. And this is on location for a Cyndi Lauper video called Heading West. A lovely romantic video that you can see on YouTube. I was the editor, and these people were the folks who actually created the thing in the first place. Anyway, he starts me out, and then we got to know each other, and after a while I said, well, you know, Larry, tell me, you know, I'm just starting out here. How did you get your start? He said, well, I started out in hockey. I said, hockey? I was picturing him as a goalie or something, but you know, I was a director of hockey on television. And I'll tell you, that was a rough way to start. I said, well, it sounds pretty easy to me, you know. You just follow the puck. He said, that was the problem, following the puck. You know, you're in the control room. You've got 4 monitors, and they're black and white back in those days. But, you know, in the control room, it was very hard to follow the puck. I mean, a black puck on white ice, you know, it's a little hard to see there. I said, well, what did you do then? He said, I came up with an innovation. I said, what was that? He goes, I told the technicians to make the monitors in the control room a negative image. So now I can see hockey with a white puck on black ice. And it was much more easy to follow the puck and to direct a thing. I said, hey, that's pretty genius, man. How'd you think of that? He said, I don't know how I thought of it, but I agree with you. It was genius. It was, in fact, it was revolutionary. I said, well, how so was it revolutionary? He goes, well, it was revolutionary because it was the first time in the history of the NHL that all the hockey players were black dudes.